Hello, welcome to Iron Wolf Studios. Today I'm going to be building a snowy mountain with a bit of a lake. Let's begin. Okay, so you can first see that I'm starting off with this simple green base piece. I'm going to be adding a lot of green around it. This is not necessarily going to be showing all. This is just going to be a small part in the final build, but it's going to be like the lowest part of the build. So I decided I'll start with that. Obviously, you can't start with the biggest part. So yeah, I'm going to be trying keeping this build under 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 22 minutes. I'm going to be trying keeping it quite a short build because, let's be honest, who really wants to just sit around watching a new guy build Lego for an hour? I don't know, maybe in the future I'll do something like that, but at the moment we're just not going to be doing that. Okay, so you can see that I'm trying to keep the build solid, like a really solid. Um, so I'm trying. Yeah, that's my idea. I'm trying to keep it as stable as possible because there's nothing worse than like adding bricks and pressing down on them, and then the whole thing collapsing where you've got a hollow build. That's not good. If you want some expert mock advice, do not make hollow mocks. Like if you have to, okay, but for the most part, just trying to avoid that. I mean, obviously, if you're building a cave, you're not gonna have a solid inside cave because then it's just brick. But yeah. Another thing you might notice is a lot of layering going on. A lot of it. Yeah, it's something I've found really works well. Adding a lot of layers to something. The more layers you add to something, the better it just ultimately looks. So something with less layers is going to look a little less realistic. If you're like building a nature mock, it's going to look less realistic than something that has a lot of layers on it. I'm currently working on kind of outlining. As you can see, I'm kind of outlining the area that I'm going to be using. I'm going to later switch over to a different color. I found blue and orange work well. I just have a lot of blue and orange. If you've got, I don't know, if you've got more pink or yellow or something, then feel free to use that. There's no real specific reason why I'm using blue, except that I have a lot of it. Also, I remembered, I forgot to ask this earlier, but if you have any like suggestions for my next build, I'd be willing to consider it and like give me some ideas and I'll see what I can do. As you can currently see, I'm adding dark orange and light brown sort of bricks, like this clay color brick, because I lived next to a mountain for 10 years, and I often noticed that there'd be a lot of green, and the higher you go up, it was quite a steep mountain, I must say, at some point. So it was kind of, there's a lot of dirt. There's more like clay and dirt and things further up than actual grass. Those loose pieces of grass. So yeah, I also noticed on the picture I was using, kind of like the picture I was using as a bit of reference. It also, the mountain started off green at the bottom with the lake, and then the further up you saw a little bit more dirt and that. So I thought, it would also just like, maybe it's not 100% accurate to nature, but it'll work. It will do well. Also, please let me know what you think of the video. If you think this is like a good video, if you want me to try a different style, if you guys don't really want to sit watching me build like this, if you rather want assembled pieces and I just like attach them all together, maybe that style of video, I don't know. Let me know and I'll see what I can do. So I've got, well, we'll just like waiting for me to get in the next stage, which is going to take some time. I'm just gonna say some things that are on my mind at the moment. For instance, plans for my future in the YouTube industry. It's kind of, at the moment, I just want to make some videos. I want to try and get 2 videos out a week, maybe more. Depends on how long it takes me. This is my first video, and it took me, the build itself, I actually think took me 20 minutes, 22 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Which is a little longer than I really want. I want shorter builds, but I want them to be big. So some of the bigger ones might take a little longer. But I want to do minifigures. I want to do like the ultimate D&D party in Lego. I also really want to do maybe some unboxings of the newer Lego sets. I'm very passionate about the Lego Star Wars, so I might do one of those. Or some Ninjago characters sometime. Another thing I really want to do is like a Lego Japanese build. Like build Lego Japanese samurai, but not like the anime style, like traditional, historically accurate. Because I've got enough pieces that I think I should be able to do that. And the pieces I don't have, I mean, go to Bricklink. Which, if I'm correct, is actually shutting down in October. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. As you can see, I've already switched to the orange and blue over here. That's been built up. I kind of did a quick cutscene, just add a little bit more there, because that's probably the thing that takes kind of the longest of a build. It's not adding the bricks, so that it's making the support, making sure that the build is really structurally sound. Yeah, something I think you should pay a lot of attention to. Structurally sound things, it's very important in a build. However, it also tends to take the longest in a build. The longest amount of time you're probably going to spend making sure the build is stable, because I know usually it's form goes before function. Like often in Lego you'll see that. Something that you need to actually pay a lot of attention to is function, like how it works, how it looks. Is it going to stand? Something you should pay a lot of attention to. Especially for my younger viewers, if you're only getting into mock building now. I mean, I've been doing mock building my entire life. From the firefighter quad bike thing, I got that, and I think I built the build a few times, and I was like, nope, I'm going to just build my own thing. And something that I started doing from that day was just building my own thing. I think the greatest gift I got from that day was the Legos, an old Lego Creators box. One of the original ones. It didn't even have minifigures. It had these buildable little characters. Yellow-headed, characters. I loved playing with that. Little blockade characters that you built. I'd always build my own things. Like, there were instructions for a house and a plaza-like thing, and a car, I think. I never really paid attention to that. I was like, ooh, I built this once, and my sister helped me. And then we just kind of, let's build something else. And when I got my first Lego Ocean set, again, I just built my own things. I went for my own things. Yeah. As you can see, I'm starting to move more into a mountain position, so instead of just going up like a cliff, I'm moving it a bit. I added a few layers there. I'm trying to work like up to make a mountain peak. This is the first time I actually reviewed the footage. I've reviewed it once before, but I kind of forgot. So this is the first time I'm properly seeing everything, and yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of it's going kind of straight, and now only it's starting to turn. But I think in the end it turns out quite good. I think it will be okay. The hardest part of this entire build, I'm not gonna lie, it was not actually making it structurally sound this time. It was just getting it to look like a mountain, because the last few builds I've been actually doing, before I actually decided to start recording them, they were just builds, like cliffs, like extreme cliffs and weirdly shaped rock formations and things. That was really fun. It looked natural. It gave you kind of like a natural, almost alien world type of feel. For those of you who have watched Avatar, Pandora, I think the place is called. They kind of have like those sort of floating rocks things, except attached to the ground. And I must say, I might actually do some of those things again and record it this time, because I'm not gonna lie, that was really fun. That was a really fun build to do. As you can see also at the back, it's less and less pieces I'm needing to use for the structural integrity, because I already have like, yeah, making the peak, and less pieces are obviously required. So yeah, another thing I've noticed is very useful in mock building is 1x1 studs. Use a lot of 1x1s. Not necessarily always the studs, but as you can see also the proper, just 1x1 pieces, bricks, not quite sure what to call them. They work great. That and cheese slopes. Cheese slopes, 1x1 tiles, 1x1 studs, all those things are great. They are really, really good for adding texture, adding things. It just makes the build ultimately look more natural, less blocky actually. It just adds more flow. However, I would not necessarily advise always using rounded pieces. Rounded pieces tend to give it a bit of a unnatural rolling look. These are normal tiles. I just realized I was using normal tiles here. I don't think I use a lot in this build. Usually I use a mountain of just normal tiles, especially 1x2s. They're great for just like making it look a little more natural, a little more flowing. I know for like Minecraft mocks that you can try and keep it as smooth as possible to keep that in-game look. But when you're going for natural builds, you're going to try and keep it as far away from smooth as possible. You're going to try and make it look rough and natural and not man-made. That brings me to my next point. I actually don't play Minecraft. I know, big shock. Like, what? You don't build Minecraft? You don't play Minecraft? I want to play Minecraft in the future. And in fact, the day I do, I'm going to make a commentary video about myself playing Minecraft. I'm going to try and get a recording of that. Because, who knows, maybe I'll make a Minecraft channel, maybe I won't. For now, it's just going to be Lego. I always have several stop motions that are going to be coming soon. I'm going to be making stop motions also for this channel. I don't think I put that in the description, but they're coming. Whether you want or not, I'm making stop motions. So as you can see, I'm now starting to add the light gray. I chose light gray because it looks most like what would be in the mountain. Also dark gray was a little clashing. It kind of clashed with the white a bit harshly. So I just decided, I've got a lot of light gray. This will do fine. Also another thing is a lot of my dark gray I got secondhand. And whoever had it before me decided to try drawing on some of the pieces. Despite that though, most of the ink's worn off of those, so it's now just normal grey. But still, whoever did that, yeah. I'm glad I managed to save the Lego box from them.
Wait a minute.
Is Mum home? Okay, so let me know what you want to see me do a video of next. I don't know, I might have already made a second video by the time you guys say that, but who knows? I could actually do next video. I think I'm probably going to do either a very small mini mock or a minifigure thing. Or stop motion, who knows? I've got actually quite a few really good stop motions I did in the past. I might just load those on, see what you guys think. Let me know, please. Do give me feedback. Just don't criticize my channel without giving me feedback. At least give me feedback and then criticize me. Okay? As you can see, I'm get closer and closer to the final piece of the mountain itself, and then we're going to move down to the lake, which I'm going to be using some older techniques I usually use. They're effective techniques. As you can see, I'm now adding those 1x1 cheese slopes. I think they're quite fun. They're really useful for just like making something look a little bit more natural. I didn't add any 1x1 white cheese slopes on the rock itself. I did on the snowy part, but I didn't add it on the mountain rocky area itself because, yeah, I just kind of forgot. Also, I ran out of cheese slopes. Another thing I might be doing in the future is making an animal tutorial, how to build Lego animals. I'm thinking a wolf, perhaps. I did a few years. I used a Ninjago wolf I got. Massive Ninjago buildable wolf. Really, really cool set. I just swapped out the golden for the blue, and that was perfect. That really, really worked. Actually kept up, which is really, because by the time this video gets out, there's a 100% guarantee, guys, I'm gonna have already broken this thing. Who knows, I might have actually already started the next video by the time this is sent out. Who knows, you never know. Yeah, I've actually got all my pieces kind of sorted out in the background. You can see there already some of the pieces in enough cheese slopes really bother Star Wars, all that. So it's kind of easy to just reach and grab one of those. I highly recommend doing that if you can. Just like sort your things out. It's easy. It's easier when you're building a mock and you need to grab pieces. I know some people might think, "Ooh, I prefer digging around the Lego," and yeah, but if you're like me and you build 3-4 mocks a day, it's just easier to have a few pieces laying around. Just grab a few pieces, just use them. It's just easier. Yeah. Okay, I'm finishing up with the cheese slopes now. That big one. I think that's the third last cheese slope I'm adding. I'm adding these smaller ones, and then just about done. Then we're going to move on to the water section, and then we're going to be adding a minifigure. I think I chose the Ice Explorer minifigure I built, and yeah, whenever there's like a snowy biome thing that I need to build, I always just use my Ice Explorer I built. I actually bought them at a Lego, one of those pick-a-brick places, and just built my own minifigure. I think I built 6 minifigures, got them, not quite sure how much it was. It was a birthday gift. It was great, I loved it. I've actually got the build still on my desk so far at the time of recording. The thing is still on my desk, so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have added the Explorer. He makes the build look surprisingly small. So in the future, I might not add the Explorer. Just keep the build, make it look bigger than it actually is. Yeah, this is actually one of the taller builds I've done in a while. I mean, those floating things I built were quite tall. Yeah. Okay, as you can see, I'm starting also with the ice. So it's supposed to be frozen water. So as you can see, I'm kind of using frozen water is just ice. I should have just said ice. It's ice, okay? It's nice ice. I'm using a lighter blue. I feel that the lighting kind of makes the lighter blue look darker than it actually is, but it's that bright light blue. You guys know what I'm talking about. I actually got most of this light blue and in a Zane set. A lot of the tiles I got in a Zane car set. That was a really cool set. I got that one with the wolf set. I bought them both at the same time. That was great. That was really, really good. I got a lot of sets that day. That was really fun. Okay, that piece I just added there is my only one bright light blue 1x1 I have. So I had to improvise with these transparent pieces because no, there's transparent ice. Okay, there is. If you don't trust me, go look it up. There is. In a lake, I mean. Like usually it's like you can't really see it, but you know, there is. And so I added these like pieces on top because I thought, kind of makes it look like the ice is kind of rough, as if it didn't all freeze smoothly. So again, nature doesn't really obey smoothness. It doesn't always look smooth. Things are often rough. They've got texture. So I just add a bit of texture. Maybe some studs or tiles that would have been better, but I just chose that. And also the snow flowing into the water. I thought that was quite a fun detail. I'm also using those, I'm not quite sure what to call them, pieces. It's like the 2x2, but it's got that one corner cut off. I've got a few of those laying about. Along with those angle pieces, those two by ones. Is that what you call them? I'm not quite sure what to call that sort of piece. And then obviously more cheese slopes, just because why not? And some blue cheese slopes. I actually forgot I added blue cheese slopes. Just to show a little bit of frozen water. Maybe there's a stream or something. Yeah. Adding final details. I remember this. The green studs. I added some light green studs because maybe the ice is melting a bit. I don't know. My thoughts were ice is melting a bit. There's a bit of water, there's a bit of green, maybe that's a bit of moss. I was gonna add some ferns or grass growing next to the shore, but I decided that makes the build look a little bit cluttered. In future builds I might add that. Might think that looks a little better. You guys let me know in the comments. Also, on a side note, a very controversial side note, what are your guys' opinion on the new LEGO Death Star? Personally, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's terrible. Personally, I love it. I think it looks cool. I think, man, that looks maybe not as good as others we have found. Maybe the minifigure lineup is not the best, but yeah. And here we are, just about done. I really like how this mountain came out, not gonna lie. I decided putting the Ice Explorer halfway up the mountain. I thought, no, move it a little down. As you can see, he kind of looks like a giant walking through the mountain. So that's what he is. He's a giant. He's this massive giant strolling through these giant mountains looking for gold, emeralds, something. A village full of innocent people to attack or something. And I think the video is just about done now. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I definitely enjoyed making it. And this being my first YouTube video, I was a little nervous, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. And hopefully I'll have another video again soon. Okay, till next time. Bye.